What's up, guys? I just thought I'd make a video to shed some light and information on the Groeneveld single line greaser, auto greaser kit, or system, sorry. But yeah, this thing, I couldn't really find a lot of information. There wasn't a lot of videos out there besides some of the Groeneveld information videos that they got on YouTube. So let's go over a few things. I figure we'll start here with the reservoir, or the pump as they call it. And basically, this thing's a pneumatic pump, and we've got an air tank here that fills up off of the truck's compressor, runs usually around 125 psi. That's like its normal operating pressure. And there's a control module inside of the cab that is a timer. So it's an adjustable timer too, so you can set it however long you want, from 10 minutes up to 150 minutes, I think it is. It might even be longer than that. But once the timer goes off, then it will run the pump for a certain amount of time to allow grease to go from the reservoir through the lines to wherever you have the grease running to. So mostly all steering and suspension stuff. But there's also a timed setting as well, from 1 to 9 minutes, that you can have the pump stay on for to allow grease. And I'm not too sure if that's maybe for a different system, but anyhow. So this here, we've got two connections. One's gonna be located right here at the front. This is actually a switch. So this will be a low pressure switch. Simple on and off. It's normally open, and you've just got 12 volts going in one side and ground on the other that go to that control box, so that if you had no pressure, the control box would know that you've either got a leak somewhere in the air system, or if this is getting low, it will stop and it won't push a bunch of air through the system, which is your saving grace. And then we've got this solenoid that's down here. This is actually the control solenoid that will turn on to allow air to enter the unit, and it goes straight up through the center. And you'll see this, we've got a big rubber plunger that's inside of here. So the air pressure will build up on top, and it pushes the plunger down to then drive the grease down into this unit here. There's a one-way valve that's inside of here, and then it goes out here. This is our exit line block here. You can see I've got just a plug on this one, and we've actually got two lines that exit out of this thing, one that goes to the rear of the truck and one that goes to the front. We've got a fill port that's located right here with a cap on it, and we've just got a hand pump and a bucket. You can buy the grease from Groeneveld. It has special grease that they call for. It's NLGO or NLGI-0, I believe, and that's their green lube grease, and it's actually pretty thin. So that's one thing they're warning of, is not to fill it up with any other kinds of grease, because it might be too thick and then it's too difficult to push through the system, might not grease right, yada yada yada. Also, there's O-rings and things in there as well, so any petroleum-based product probably would swell O-rings and rubbers and not be good for the system. And then we've got this solenoid. When it closes, it actually diverts the air pressure out of this exit tube here to release the pressure off of this, so that this unit isn't pressurized all the time. And that's why you see some lube that's been sprayed on the ground there from me cycling the pump. Every time you turn it on, or that timer turns on and shuts off, it releases pressure, and sometimes it sprays a bit of grease. So yeah, two electrical components, one switch, one solenoid at the bottom. They both run on 12 volts. It's actually a 12 or 24 volt system, so some of your heavy equipment might run 24 volts. But pretty simple. So from the lines, once we got grease flowing through these primary feed lines, they call them, we go to the manifold, which this truck, we've got a manifold, which is this center section with the stud on it, on the passenger side and on the driver's side. And from the manifold, the grease then gets fed into these metering injectors. So this is what actually controls the amount of grease being injected into all the individual lines going to the components. And we'll go show you on the bench how these things come apart and how they all work. But we've got issues with these ones, and they're not pumping grease right now. So if I were to turn this on and try to pump grease out, Actually, I've got these ones are out right now, so it's just going to puke grease out of there, and I'm not going to be able to show you, but the grease basically just comes out to the very edge of the injector, and it doesn't pump any out, and then it just gets sucked back into the injector. And we've come to the conclusion that there's a O-ring that's bad on the injectors. I mean, this system's 10 years old, so maybe that's just a thing that happens with these. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you're familiar with these Groeneveld systems. But yeah, so then from the injectors goes through the lines. We've got just little plastic lines here, and then they go to these nuts. We've got all different sorts of fittings and things to adapt to whatever pieces we're trying to grease, little elbows and whatnot. So pretty simple. As far as sizes go, on this truck and the other truck that we have, 12 millimeter for all the nuts on the end of the lines, and they're compression style line fittings. We've got a little sleeve that slips over the line, and then when the nut tightens down, it actually will crush down on the line to keep it secured. Now the pump on this truck is a 9-to-1 pressure ratio, so we've got 125 psi that goes in, and that'll basically convert out to like 800 or 900 psi, I believe it is, to the line. So it's actually pushing quite a bit of pressure to move all that grease, because there's a lot of grease that it's got to move, right? So let's go over to the bench, I guess, and we'll talk about these metering injectors. Okay, so here's a metering injector. This is unscrewed off of the manifold. So these are a 17 millimeter body on them, and then the cap portion here is actually a 16 millimeter. Now these are two separate pieces. These things are fully serviceable. There's an O-ring on the bottom. So this side screws into the manifold. This side is where the line comes off of. So to get these things apart, it's pretty simple. We just throw them in the vise and then unscrew them apart. There's a big spring that's inside of here. Here I've got all the components laid out. So we've got a few components, the main body, then inside the body at the very bottom, you're gonna find that there's gonna be an O-ring sitting down there. Then there's gonna be this piece here. So this is the main valve that the grease first enters. And you'll notice that there's these really small holes. So what happens is grease goes in and it pushes on that valve that's inside of there. There's a spring that's in this shaft, and grease then exits out those tiny little holes and fills up the inside of the main body with grease. And there's a little bucket that sits on here. So what happens is it'll push that bucket up and fill that full of grease. There's a spring that sits on top of this, so that grease has to fight against this spring pressure now and keep that compressed. And then when the pressure in the pump stops, this spring will push that grease back down, back into those holes, except this valve will now be closed. So the grease getting pushed into these holes goes up into this shaft where the spring is inside and actually comes out. There's even smaller holes at the very top, and there's supposed to be a rubber O-ring that's along here. I know it's difficult to see, but there's two small holes there and there. And that's where the grease comes out and actually exits the very head of the injector metering body. So let's just take one of these things apart and I'll show you. We'll just throw this thing in the vise here. Nothing to it really. So I throw that in there, 5/8 or 16 mil. And we'll just unscrew this. The spring is pretty strong, but it's not anything to worry about when you go to take this off. It'll just pop up. Also, there are washers. Depending on how much grease you're trying to inject into the component, you'll either add or remove washers. So there, that's unscrewed. Pull this off. There's no pieces or anything inside of there. That's just the way that is. However, between this and the main body, you see there are washers. And the more washers you stack on there, the further away this is, which increases the volume, so you would be injecting more grease. And Groeneveld sells different size spacers or washers, whatever you want to call them, to be able to adjust how much grease you're injecting. So the next piece that we're going to take out is the main spring. So there, that's for the secondary valve that I was talking about that pushes on that bucket. So then in order to get this piece out that has our first primary valve, we're going to just unscrew this thing. So there's a slot and there's an O-ring that's on the bottom, so they get stuck in there. So what I'm going to do is actually just use something to stick in underneath to push up while I wiggle it, and then we can get it free. So there's the assembly there. So there's that top O-ring that I was talking about that's got the holes underneath of it that you can't see. And these O-rings, they're kind of hard. So I think that's what's giving us our issue on this particular truck. And we'll go over that in a sec when we skim through the manual. But you can see there, the bucket will move up and down. There's a rubber O-ring underneath of it. That's a very important piece. And then we've also got like a base plate washer that O-ring sits on so that it doesn't roll over onto these holes. And then yeah, once those pieces come off, you're left with that main valve. This is as serviceable as this gets besides that O-ring. Now I don't know if you can buy all these individual pieces. I'm pretty sure they sell you just the metering valve as an assembly. And their website shows that it's like $34 and change. Guessing that's in USD. But yeah, and then at the very base of that, down in there, there is one more O-ring that seals up the bottom. So, all right, let's go over the service manual, and I'll just read over the quick theory and operation of how this thing runs. All right, so Groeneveld does have a full service manual that's free to download on their website. So we'll just go over the quick operation principle, how this thing works. So here's our schematic here, the cutaway of the valve. And it says the metering units that are used in your greasing system may differ externally or even internally from the one illustrated here. However, the operating principle is always the same. And it says the grease is pumped via the primary line and then and the distribution block into channel 1 of the metering unit. The grease pressure pushes plunger 4 past channel 2. There's our plunger number 4, that's the first valve that opens when the grease goes in, and then it fills up chamber number 3. So the grease goes through those little first holes I showed you, and they fill up this chamber here by pushing this cup forwards. You can see these black circles are the O-ring, pushes that cup forward and compresses this big spring up here. So it says it pushes plunger number 5 to the right. The stroke length of the plunger number 5 determines the amount of grease that will be pressed through the secondary line to the grease point. So that length is adjustable by adding or removing those washers that I was showing you. And it says the stroke length, hence the capacity of the chamber, is determined by the number of thickness of spacers, which I just said. So then in the next phase, it says when the pump stops and as the grease pressure in the primary line drops, spring number 7 will push the plunger, number 4, back to the left, closing off the channel number 1. So there's plunger 4, it moves backwards now that we've lost pressure. And then this big spring is going to push our little cup backwards and push grease back into this chamber with the smaller spring that's inside that needle piece that I was showing you. You can't see that spring, but it fills this whole spot up full of grease. And then, yeah, basically the next time the pump turns on, that whole cycle pretty much repeats. And this all this grease that's inside of here gets pushed out past that O-ring that's at the very top of that needle and enters this chamber here where it exits the actual metering valve. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I couldn't really find any information until just today on this, and there was really no videos as far as controlling things and yada yada yada. Like, so to get this greaser to run, I would have to cycle the key on and hold the test button on the side of the timer. Now some of these newer ones have like an interface that actually has a screen and a couple indicators on them that the driver can actually interact with. This one has an old style box. It's just a black box with a red button and a dial on it. You can set the timer, and it's in underneath of the dash. But even with the newer ones, so you'd have to cycle the key on and hold the button, and it would chime at you and then flash and make an alarm sound saying that it was running a cycle. And that's there so that we can manually tell it to turn on for testing reasons and yada, yada, yada. But I was getting impatient because it's a pain. First of all, you have to cycle the key on and push it, and you get like 3 seconds of runtime. Then you got to shut the key off and cycle it again and repeat that. But I'm inside the truck, so I can't watch anything. So you need another person to do it. Well, I was like, enough with this. So I just hooked up my power probe to that air solenoid on the bottom of the pump, and I just turn it on with my power probe, and I can leave the pump on as long as I want. It's not even an electric motor or anything. It's just you're opening a solenoid to allow air pressure in to pump the grease through. So pretty simple. And yeah, so that's what I did. Now, interesting thing with these valves is when you feed it pressure, you turn the pump on and allow pressure to push the grease through. It can only prime those metering valves up to a certain point, and then they stop. And it's when you let the pressure off is when it pumps the grease out, because the spring has to collapse to push the grease out. So it was interesting. I don't understand why they have like a 1 to 9 minute timer on there, unless it's like cycling it on and off for 1 to 9 minutes. That would make sense, but it wouldn't just hold it on for 9 minutes, because it's only going to give you the same amount of grease. So I thought that was interesting. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments. I know there's multiple versions of these auto greasers, and there's more than just Groeneveld manufacturing these. So yeah, if you got issues with your auto greaser, throw questions and whatever in the comment section, and yeah, let me know if you got any tips or tricks on these things. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.